Making headlines this hour. BML is set to significantly increase the dollar limits available on customer credit cards beginning on the 1st of February next year, following a key announcement made by President Dr. Mohamed Muiz confirming the government's comprehensive strategy to reform foreign currency access. The Minister of Finance and Planning, Musa Zamir, reveals that the technical phase of the draft government budget for the upcoming fiscal year has been successfully completed, with final preparations now underway ahead of its presentation to Parliament. And Mohammad Saeed, Minister of Economic Development and Trade, accuses the former Maldivian Democratic Party or MDP administration of orchestrating widespread corruption that he claims left the country's finances in disrepair. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. And now the news in detail. The Bank of Maldives, or BML, is set to significantly increase the dollar limits available on customer credit cards beginning on the 1st of February next year, following a key announcement made by President Dr. Mohamed Muiz confirming the government's comprehensive strategy to reform foreign currency access. These increases are paired with immediate revisions to debit card transaction limits scheduled for the 11th of November. Changes, the president stressed, are designed to offer much needed respite for the public from the foreign currency black market. The most substantial changes will affect credit card holders starting early next year. The monthly dollar limit for the BML Classic card will nearly double, increasing from $750 to a new ceiling of $1,400. Similarly, gold card holders will see their limit raised from $750 to $1,500. Platinum card holders, who currently enjoy the highest limit, will see their allowance increase from $1,500 to a substantial $2,000 per month. In addition, several major transaction changes impacting BML debit cards will take effect immediately on the 11th of November. The limit for foreign transactions using debit cards at points of sale or POS terminals abroad will be increased to $1,000. Crucially for travelers, the amount usable for buying tickets from airlines and hotels abroad will rise to $3,000. Additionally, in a move aimed at prioritizing healthcare, the bank announced that payments for medical treatment at hospitals abroad will be facilitated upon request to the bank, streamlining the previously cumbersome process for securing essential foreign medical services. The president emphasized that these concurrent changes mark a major step in fulfilling his commitment to providing accessible and reliable foreign exchange services, thereby reducing the dependency on unregulated parallel currency trading. The Minister of Finance and Planning, Musa Zamir, reveals that the technical phase of the draft government budget for the upcoming fiscal year has been successfully completed, with final preparations now underway ahead of its presentation to Parliament. Speaking to PSM News in Guraido, Tha Atoll, Minister Zamir confirmed that the budget process is proceeding according to schedule. He detailed the preparation of the first draft involved extensive meetings with all ministries and relevant government offices, culminating in the technical completion of the document by the Fiscal Affairs Department of the Ministry and the Policy Office of the President's Office. The minister explained that following the submission of the draft to the President, the final phase will commence with relevant agencies before the mandatory parliamentary filing. According to law, the state budget must be submitted to Parliament 2 months before the end of the fiscal year to allow for thorough debate and committee stages prior to approval. While the government has not yet announced the total projected expenditure, Minister Zamir reiterated that the administration will prioritize the Maldives 2.0 initiative in the new financial plan. In addition, the budget is set to include a major focus on housing, with the president been previously indicating that more than $64 million will be allocated for social housing projects and associated infrastructure. The upcoming budget, which encompasses recurrent expenditures, capital infrastructure spending, debt repayments, and estimated revenues, signals a pivot from the current year's fiscal strategy. The government approved a $3.7 billion budget for the current year, which focused heavily on debt repayments through stringent austerity measures. The administration has since announced that the coming years will be marked by significant infrastructure and housing development without placing an undue burden on the public or the economy. Mohamed Saeed, Minister of Economic Development and Trade, accuses the former Maldivian Democratic Party or MDP administration of orchestrating widespread corruption that he claims left the country's finances in disrepair. At the center of his allegations is a scandal involving Fenica Corporation, the state-owned utility provider, which he described as a symptomatic of a broader collapse in governance. His remarks, delivered during an appearance on the Rajimyo program on PSM News, followed the release of a special audit report by the Auditor General's office. The report concluded that billions of rupiah had been embezzled from Fenica. Minister Saeed said the misappropriation occurred with the full knowledge of senior officials in the previous government, some of whom allegedly benefited directly. Among those named was former President Ibrahim Mohamed Saleh. Minister Saeed claimed that President Saleh had been formally informed of the corruption but failed to intervene. Minister Saeed described the alleged corruption as part of a broader pattern of economic mismanagement. He said that when the current administration assumed office, it inherited a network of bankrupt state-owned enterprises, including Fenica. According to the minister, public resources were used to secure electoral victories, projects were launched at inflated prices, and major financial misconduct was carried out with the expectation of retaining power. He pointed to the depletion of national reserves as evidence of the damage. He concluded by underlining the need for accountability. Every instance of alleged corruption, he said, must be investigated with appropriate action taken based on the findings. Minister Saeed assured the public that the administration of President Dr. Mohamed Muiz would not tolerate corruption and would respond decisively to any misconduct uncovered within the current government. The Maldives Transport and Contracting Company, or MTCC, awards the second phase of a significant land reclamation project in Nafaru, Laviani Atoll, crucial for its development into a modern urban center. The $44 million contract entails dredging 44.8 hectares of land and constructing vital coastal protection infrastructure. The agreement was formally signed on Monday between Minister of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure Dr. Abdullah Muttalib, representing the government, and MTCC Managing Director DCP retired Ahmed Saudi. This ambitious undertaking aligns with the government's strategic vision, championed by President Dr. Mohamed Muiz, to establish Nafaru as one of 7 regional urban hubs across the Maldives. These centers are designed to decentralize premium services and facilities, catering to a growing population and fostering regional development through the archipelago. Under the terms of the contract, MTCC will not only reclaim 44.8 hectares of land, but also fortify the new area with an extensive 1,813 meters of rock revetment, an 803-meter rock outer shoreline, and a 474-meter rock groin. The comprehensive project is slated for completion within a target time frame of 1 year and 9 months. The awarded contracts build upon existing efforts, with MTCC currently engaged in an earlier 21-hectare dredging project in Nafaru. President Dr. Muiz had previously outlined plans in March last year to dredge a total of 45 hectares, emphasizing that such land availability is paramount for regional development. Nafaru, with a population exceeding 5,700, has a high demand for land, a need that has seen previous reclamation efforts, including a 16-hectare project in 2004. The expansion is expected to unlock significant opportunities, providing much-needed land for housing units, industrial activities, and the establishment of essential public services, thereby transforming Nafaru into a fully-fledged urban hub capable of serving a broad populace. In a related development, MTCC was officially awarded the contract for the comprehensive development of the Nafaru Harbor on Monday, a crucial infrastructure project valued at $3.1 $1 million. The initiative aims to significantly enhance maritime capabilities and accommodate the growing population and marine vessel traffic on the island. The project is slated for completion within 1 year. The ambitious undertaking encompasses a wide scope designed to modernize the harbor and improve its functionality. Key components of the project include the dredging of 26,960 cubic meters of canal to improve navigatability, the installation of 340 meters of inner coastline and an additional 182 meters of outer coastline, and the construction of 1,390 square meters of pavement within the harbor area. In addition, the development will see the installation of modern port lights, enhancing safety and operational efficiency, particularly during night hours. The existing harbor, despite having undergone 2 previous development phases, has become increasingly inadequate for the current scale of operations, necessitating this comprehensive upgrade to meet contemporary demands and facilitate smoother logistics for the community.
And now we bring you the call to prayer for Isha.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدًا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقامًا محمودًا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
ෆතුරකම් ගෙදුගේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රාම්ගා දායිරාගා මසකෙකුරා දිවහින්ගේ වාහකත
ಫುರ್ಸತ್ತುಗ ಹಿಫಾ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ನಿಕ್ನು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವರ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ವಾಂಡ್ ವರ ತಂತನ ದತುರು ಸ್ಕುರೆನ್ ವರ ಬ್ಯಾವರ್ ಮಿನಿಹುನ್ನ ದಿಮಾವಣ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಅ ಲಾಟ್
ವಿದಾಯರ ವಾರುಗದ ಕೊದ್ದೇರೆ ದಿವೆಹಿಂ ಆಸ್ಗೆನ್ ದಿವೆಹಿನ್ನಶೆ ಮಿಕಂ ವಾಣಿ ದಿವೆಹಿ ಬಯಕು ಫೆಶಿ ಮಸಕ್ಕತೆ ಕೆ ಮಿಹೆಂವಿಮ ಮಿಮಸಕ್ಕತೆಯಾಗೆನ್ ಕೊರಿಯದ್ದಾಣಿ ದಿವೆಹಿ ಕೊದಿನ್ನೆ
ಅಳುಗುನುವೆನ್ ಉಳುನು ವರಕು ದಿವೆಹಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಗ ಫತುರುರಿಕಂ ಹುಳಾಗೆನ್ ದಾನೆ
ಒಮ್ಮೆ ತಣೆ ಬೈನಿಯ ಮಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕುರಿಯ ಕಮುಗವಿಯ ಸ್ಕೆನಿಯಕುಗೆ ಎನಿಯಕ ಎವುಳೆ ಜೊತೆ ಏಗ ಎನ್ನ
ಫತುರುವೆಹಿಂ ತಿನೆನ್ ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ಗೆ ಸಾದಗಡಿ ತಿರಿಹುಗ PSMC
Welcome back to our English news program. We continue with international business. Iraq's oil ministry says crude oil flowed through a pipeline from the semi-autonomous Kurdistan region in northern Iraq to Turkey for the first time in 2.5 years after an interim deal broke a deadlock. According to a statement from the ministry, the resumption started at 6 a.m. local time or 3 o'clock GMT. Iraq's oil minister told Kurdish broadcaster Rodau that the agreement between Iraq's federal government, the Kurdish Regional Government or KRG, and foreign oil producers operating in the region will allow 180,000 to 190,000 barrels per day of crude to flow to Turkey's Ceyhan port. The U.S. had pushed for a restart, which is expected to eventually bring up to 230,000 BPD of crude back to international markets at a time when OPEC Plus is boosting output to gain market share. Looking at current international affairs, organizers of an international aid flotilla says they would press on with attempts to break an Israeli naval embargo on Gaza, despite pleas by Italy to accept a compromise proposal and not take further risks. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! The Global Sumud flotilla, made up of about 50 civilian boats, was hit by drones carrying stun grenades and itching powder in international waters 30 nautical miles or 56 kilometers off the Greek island of Kavdos. No one was injured, but vessels suffered some damage. The GSF blamed Israel, which did not respond to the accusation, but said it would use any means to block the boat's access to Gaza. Italian President Sergio Mattarella urged the flotilla's organizers to accept a proposal to drop off its aid supplies in Cyprus and hand them to the Catholic Church's Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem for distribution in Gaza.
We are very happy because yesterday we joined the rest of the boats coming from Italy, Spain and Tunisia, and we united as one common fleet of 44 ships. Our next destination is Gaza. Our mission is to break the illegal Israeli siege and create a people's humanitarian corridor. We rise to end the genocide of the Palestinian people. We sail against the complicity of our countries. Demand safe passage for our vessels, because no one is free until we are all free. All eyes on Gaza, all eyes on the fleet.
The timing of the flotilla's departure from Greece was unclear. Organizers said one of the lead boats had suffered a mechanical failure, but that the flotilla would continue. Greece said it would guarantee the safe sailing of the flotilla off Greece. Its launch will take the flotilla back into international waters. Organizers said the boats aim to arrive early next week. Israel said the flotilla would not pass. Greek activist Ioannis Apostolopoulos on one of the boats anchored off the coast of Koufanisi Islet near Crete called for support for the boats to reach Gaza safely.
Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul outlines his government's policy agenda to Parliament, focusing on immediate actions to revive Southeast Asia's second largest economy.
Anutin's policies include measures to reduce living costs, tackle household debt, and stimulate domestic tourism, with Thailand now struggling with U.S. tariffs, high household debt, weak consumption, and a soaring baht. He said other priorities include the peaceful resolution of a dispute with Cambodia, combating illegal gambling, and enhancing disaster preparedness through the use of advanced warning systems. Anutin's government has a limited window to implement its measures, with the premier last week announcing that he planned to dissolve parliament by the end of January, leading to a general election in March or early April.
Secretary of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, Devajit Saikia, says India's apex cricket body lodges a strong protest against the behavior of Mohsin Naqvi, the president of the Asian Cricket Council, over misconduct.
India beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in the final at Dubai International Stadium, with emotions running high between the sides. The start of the presentation ceremony was delayed by more than an hour and then cut short just before the winner's trophy was to be handed out, with Naqvi among those left waiting on the dais. The teams met 3 times at the tournament, with Indian players refusing to shake hands with their opponents throughout, and Sunday's final ended in bizarre circumstances, with India celebrating their win by hoisting an imaginary trophy.
A 24-year-old student from West German town Neistal near Kassel turns plain sneakers into unique works of art featuring anime motifs, portraits, and nature-inspired designs. Diomi Maria Lu's creations, marketed through social media under her label Customs by Mai, are gaining traction among customers and even professional athletes.
Initially focused on custom designs requested by her clients, Lu noted that anime and manga motifs now account for about 80% of her work, a trend that developed organically. Each pair of sneakers takes an average of 6 to 8 hours to complete, though complex designs may require up to 12. As a teenager, Lu decorated her own shoes with fine liners. Later, her boyfriend requested a painted pair as a Christmas gift for his sister, sparking her career. Despite her growing success, Lu remains modest.
And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.